Alright, next race is the Hylar, which they're labeled the Universities of Jol-Nar. That's because this aquatic race's home planets, they actually evolved on two, are Jol and Nar. Nar ends up being more resource heavy, having 2 and then 3 influence, and then Jol is 1 resource and 2 influence. They start off with 2 carriers, 2 ground forces, 2 PDS, a fighter, a dreadnought, of course a space dock. And these guys are the scientists, the technologists of the galaxy. Matter of fact, they manufactured a lot of the communication and wartime and spaceship technology that were used by the other races. They were a cornerstone of the galactic imperium before it fell into twilight. They committed kind of economic suicide by pulling out of a lot of contracts with the races at the time when they needed them most during the war, and they kind of shot themselves in the leg with that. They have to wear an environmental suits a lot of times because they are physically a weaker race, growing up in an aquatic environment. It kind of remind me a bit of the jellyfish-like species from Mass Effect, or the Mon Calamari from Star Wars. But that's who they are. Speaking of technologies, they start with 4. I don't know of any other race that actually starts with 4. Of course, they start with their own assault laser, the Hylar 5 assault laser, which gives +1 combat to cruisers and destroyers. Anti-mass deflector shields to move through asteroid fields. And then they have 2 production techs, which is Envirocompensator, and then Sarween Tools, which actually requires Envirocompensator. But this allows you to produce 1 extra unit at your space dock, and this one gives you an extra resource when you're producing at a space dock. They have 3 modifiers. 1 is actually a negative. You receive -1 on your combat rolls. So actually having the Hylar assault laser really just brings you up to par with everybody else. So no matter, you'll always be 1 behind everybody else. But hey, that's okay, because if you tech up, you can outlast other people who haven't necessarily teched up in the game. Even in combat, these guys can still be very aggressive. You don't have to be defensive with them. Their racial abilities are: when executing the secondary ability of the technology strategy, you may execute both its primary and its secondary. So you can basically, what that allows you to do is get extra technologies every time that strategy card is used. You may spend a command counter from your strategy allocation to immediately re-roll any of your die rolls. So if there's a really crucial moment and you need that clutch save, you can exhaust this to re-roll combat rolls. The last thing to go over with them is that their race tech, which is a spatial conduit network. It costs 6 resources, and this is once per turn when moving, you may move ships from one system you control to any other system you control as if the systems were adjacent. Your ships using this movement must end their movement in a system you control. So, kind of like teleportation, really. Anyways, that's it for the Hylar. Really great race. I love them a lot. So, they got some... I love the tech in this game, and they're definitely the species if you want to tech up and utilize that aspect in that game system. This is the race to choose.